What is up, everyone? Welcome to another show here on the Scarlet N Great Empire. My name is Shane Larson, co-host alongside Corey and Johnny here on the network. We really wanted to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to this channel as we continue to grow the Scarlet N Great Empire. We love Buckeye Nation. We are all part of Buckeye Nation, one big family. So we appreciate everybody who has tuned in thus far. And if this is your first time listening, hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers here on the platform as we continue our journey to build the Scarlet N Great Empire. Guys, today I'm going to start real quick with a little bit of a draft analysis, right? Draft breakdown. We're going to be doing a couple of these videos. You'll see myself. You'll see Corey jump on here as we do some draft breakdowns. And I'm going to start today with our running back, Trey Sermon, going in the third round of the San Francisco 49ers, all right? Before we get started, though, like I said, hit the subscribe button. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. We will be doing giveaways here and doing some fun stuff with the fan interaction. So that's why we want you guys to interact with us. Leave the comments below when I ask you the questions. We'll come back. We'll search through the comments. We'll be chatting with you guys. Trust me, I love it. They call me the Boise Buckeye. I reside all the way over here in Boise. I love seeing where everyone else resides. So again, if you haven't done so already, put in the comments where you guys are from, because we love to see where Buckeye Nation resides. It's all over the world. It's literally global. So we love that. Starting with this quick breakdown, which is where I'm going to get your guys' insight as well. Okay. I need to get your guys' insight on this and see what you guys think. But Trey Sermon, I'm following. I got a ton of friends and family out here in Idaho who are huge 49ers fans. And the consensus here is that the 49ers reached for this one. You got a lot of people who are, they're excited for the upside here, but it appears that people are frustrated that the 49ers, quote unquote, reached for Sermon in this pick. But I'm going to tell you something real quick. Here's my thoughts on this breakdown. I actually think, and this is what I've told them, they've reached out to me for advice because I'm a Buckeyes fan. I said, listen, myself, along with Buckeye Nation, we got a very small sample size of Sermon this year. Okay. Not only was it just a 1-year gig with him, but it was only, it was a half a season, right? And not only that, he didn't really get to play until the end of the year, where we got to see him shine against Northwestern. But here's the deal. I did follow him at Oklahoma. And so I actually did see him quite a bit when he was playing at Oklahoma. And the reason I love Sermon is because he was able to flourish in two different offenses, okay, with Oklahoma and Ohio State. Even though he didn't play that much with us as the Buckeyes, he did flourish and he did well. And here's the things that he's going to bring to the 49ers. I think they did not. I'm going to argue my case. They did not reach for Sermon. He's actually a perfect fit for their system. Okay, so the pros to Sermon's game, first and foremost, we already know how he runs. He's got a lot of balance. He's got contact balance. His yards after contact is incredible. We saw that especially in the record-breaking performance against Northwestern. We know that, right? We see what he does. He has great balance, which makes it extremely difficult for teams to bring him down. You have to be technically sound. Now, in the NFL, some would say, well, it's the NFL game. They're not going to be. I would argue the NFL is less fundamentally sound than the college game. And they get so fast and they close out so quickly in the NFL. Every position's fast, but they do fundamentally break down quite a bit. So they're going with a running back like Sermon in the NFL. You're going to have to wrap him up. And what that does, it's a mental game just as much as it is a physical thing. You have to remember the fundamentals. That's why we all forget the fundamentals of anything we do, right? We get so used to and getting comfortable to doing it without the fundamentals. You have to break it down to the fundamentals on defense with Sermon, so it makes you have to think when you're playing him. That's why I love Sermon. He's going to make a defense think. So I think the 49ers are going to be in an advantage immediately right there because the defense has to think when they're tackling him. They have to wrap him up. You can't just knock him down. He's great with his contact balance. Now, his vision is another thing I want to talk about. Vision is absolutely superb, okay? Especially in a zone scheme. He's a one-cut kind of guy. He's not going to sit back there and dance around and whatnot. But the 49ers scheme, while their running backs tend to have a lot of speed, the thing is it's a zone scheme and it's a go uphill as soon as you find the hole and go. And that's going to be where he's going to be successful, in my opinion. I think he's immediately ready for the NFL. And I don't say that for everybody. I don't think that every single player going into the NFL is going to be immediately ready, but I think Sermon is immediately ready because in this zone scheme, it's going to be plant your foot and go as soon as as soon as the hole opens. He's got really good vision for his own scheme. Here's the other thing that I think goes, it's unspoken a lot, but it's such a vital piece to an offense. And this is why he started getting a lot of minutes, and a lot of reps with Ohio State at the end of the season. It's not just because he could, hold onto the ball and whatnot, but he can also catch the ball out of the backfield. Now, the 49ers do a lot of misdirection. They're finding they do a lot of misdirection. They put a lot of guys in motion, a lot of play action. They do a lot of misdirection in their scheme. Shanahan's known for that. Okay. He's known for that. And he's made quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins look like he's above average and got Kirk Cousins paid, essentially. You know what I mean? So like, he's able to put the offense in a position to be successful. Part of that is the running back's role in that offense. Sermon can be an immediate impact, in my opinion, catching the ball out of the backfield. Now, again, I want your guys' insight on this. Please give me some feedback on what you guys think. So we've talked about contact balance, how that will work in the NFL. A lot of guys are saying, well, he's only 6 foot 215. I think, he's a stockier build. But the thing is, and they're like, hey, well, the linemen are going to rock him. The linebackers are big. They're going to drop him. He's not going to be used to the NFL game. This isn't Northwestern, whatever. But like I said, I think the NFL plays to his advantage there because they miss out on the fundamentals quite a bit on the defensive side of the ball. Good vision for the zone scheme and great with catching the ball. His ability to catch the ball will be an immediate impact for the 49ers. If he can get the reps and get in there and get some possessions, you got to have a running back who can catch the ball out of the backfield. Okay, especially in this offense. That's why I don't think it's a reach. I'm telling all my friends, telling all my family, all the 49ers fans that I know that are saying they reached for him in the third round. I'm standing up for Sermon and saying, no, I think that's exactly where you need him. He went to the perfect team for his scheme as well. At Oklahoma and Ohio State, he kind of ran that zone scheme trying to find, they let things develop out of the backfield, and then he planted and he went. The downside to Sermon is his breakaway speed. But I think a lot of people put too much emphasis on this 40-yard dash for these skill position players, right? He ran like a 4.6, right under a 4.6. I think it was a 4.59 if I'm not mistaken. But that's not particularly fast compared to other athletes and so forth. But keep in mind, for a guy like that who's hard to bring down on the first hit, that is extremely fast. And he's got game speed. And everybody knows that there's a difference between your normal speed and your game speed. He plays differently when he's on the field and he suits up. Trey Sermon has a different speed about him. He can break away from guys. He can, and he does that because they take different angles on him. The way they approach him when he's got the ball is different. Okay, because of his ability to break tackles and continue after the first contact. So while his breakaway speed may be of a concern to some people, and I know a lot of 49ers fans are concerned about that, keep in mind, I would not be too worried. I think Sermon's perfect because he can catch the ball, and as soon as he gets going, if he gets that one cut, he'll be just fine. Now, where you might find, a little bit of a problem is if you're getting penetration into the backfield on this zone scheme, because the zone scheme is going to require some patience and then a one cut and go. The problem is if you get somebody into the backfield for a guy like Sermon, it's going to be hard for him to elude him because he's not necessarily elusive in the sense of being agile side to side. That's the downside to his game. That being said, I'll go back to my point. 49ers are probably the perfect fit for him. They have a solid line. They have a very solid team. I mean, they're 1 year removed from being in the Super Bowl, and could have easily won that. So that they're a very good team, well-led team, so to speak. So it's going to be a good option for him, but there might be some, if you're bringing blitzes and you're bringing these guys into the backfield before he can actually hit the hole, you're probably not going to see him elude a ton of tackles. Here's the other thing that I'm going to say right now. I think it's a perfect pick for him. I think he's going to do really well because he holds on to the ball. Okay. Keep in mind, go back and look to see how many times Sermon ever put the ball on the ground. How many times did the ball come out of his hands during his time at OU as well as at Ohio State? Check that. The guy runs with contact and the guy takes care of the ball. I tell my kids that I coach for basketball all the time, I mean, if you turn the ball over, that's a freebie for the defense. Like you don't want to turn the ball over, right? Like in any sport, and I'm talking about basketball here, but like you turn the ball over, obviously the fundamentals of football, don't turn the ball over. Fundamentals of basketball, don't turn the ball over because you're giving them free opportunities to score, right? He doesn't. He's dependable. He's like that employee that always comes to work, right? Doesn't call in sick. He always comes to work. He's not going to lie. And when he's there, he's going to put in the right type of work. He's going to put in quality work. Okay. Sermon's that guy. He's dependable. And that's what you want. Obviously, you need the athleticism, which I just talked about. Good contact balance, great vision in the zone scheme, great with catching the ball out of the backfield, but he can hold onto the ball. He is dependable along with the athleticism. Yeah, sure. Straight line speed. He's not the fastest running back. He's not the fastest in the skill position, but that's still pretty fast. To the average person, just keep that in mind. A 4.6 40. You want a dude who's 6 foot 215 coming at you, who has a history of being able to keep running after first contact. He's running a 4.6 40. You tell me that's not fast. Yeah, you're comparing it to these guys who are running 4.3s, 4.4s, all this stuff. A 4.6 40 is super fast for a dude of that size. Trust me. You don't want him coming at you. It doesn't matter if you're a linebacker. But here's the deal. If you get him in front of a corner or a safety who's going to have to try to tackle him in open space, game over. So that's why with the 49ers scheme, putting a lot of guys in misdirection and putting the defense in a position where they have to have these mismatches, you might be in the very perfect spot to utilize Trey Sermon, which is why I don't believe they reached for him. I believe they knew what they were doing when they grabbed him. I think they knew that he would fit perfectly into their system. Buckeye Nation, let me know what you think. Put a comment in here. Talk with me. Let's chat. Let's get this thing growing. Let's grow the Scarlet N Great Empire. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 1,000, and I'll be talking to you guys next time.